Good morning, traders. It's Tuesday, the 28th of March. My name's Mark Owen, and I'm going to bring to you the morning update from Phoenix Blue. Okay, so yesterday was an interesting day, to say the least. Lots of stops were hit through the dollar index levels. The primary reason for the sell-off in the US dollar was down to the healthcare bill and Donald Trump's failure to get this passed. Now, the way the market sees this is if he can't overturn the healthcare bill, how is he going to put into place all this spending? How is he going to put into place the tax reforms? So it was taken as a bit of a shock by the market. The dollar sold off. Now, what is important when we look at the dollar in a minute is the fact that although the dollar sold off, it didn't close below major levels, and we'll show you that once we come through the news section. So what have we got happening today? Well, I think the big one will be the consumer confidence. We're expecting numbers of 113.9. So anything lower than that, and we could really catapult what was seen as a dollar sell-off. Good numbers again should prop up the dollar. Is this going to be a short-term correction, and we're going to see a dollar sell-off in next week or later on in this week? We don't know. So listen, we've got to be honest and trade with care. And being honest, I had a pretty awful start to the week because I was long dollar based on the dollar index levels and correlation with major levels. That obviously didn't play out, but as we see that the market was potentially false breaking, then although it triggered stops, it did give me other opportunities to get back in. This isn't revenge trading. This is purely watching the market and showing how, although the market may have pushed through a level and it's been rejected, yeah, it may have taken your stops out, but it's having the confidence in your analysis and what's actually happening in the market to be able to take the same trade again. The other news later on this afternoon is Governor Pollard is speaking on behalf of the Bank of Canada. So there's a couple of decent levels to watch with the dollar CAD. Now we'll have to be careful because right now we're in between those. So I think the major numbers you really want to be talking about with dollar CAD is 135 and 132s. Because in the middle it's a little bit of a chop. At 135 we should be seeing some nice potential rejections there. So dollar index, you can see what happened yesterday. The green zone is what I would call my buy zone or my kill zone. And yes, you can see that there's a downward channel now formed. But I actually did feel that the 99 barrier on the dollar index would be suffice to look at correlating levels on majors, minors, and precious metals. We looked for that turn. Had it have happened, then I'd be having a fantastic day yesterday. Unfortunately, like I said, I was gapped on the euro, so that cost me extra money. Yen, I managed to close out on Sunday evening before I just wanted to see what happened on the market and whether the dollar was going to sell off even further. But it gave me opportunity yesterday to get back in, and those trades are doing quite well today. So let's see where this potentially can run. You can see the green arrow. We're pushing and looking that we might see a run up towards that 100.5, 100.75 top of the channel area. And then I'll probably look to see a correction back down to 99. Before we, I think before we see any sort of serious dollar strength resume now in the market, we're going to have to get some very good data out of the dollar. We're also going to have some more hawkish statements coming from the FOMC in June. You know, talking about rather than gradual rate rises, talking about significant rate rises, maybe 3, 4, whatever. We want to see some really bullish sentiment coming out of the dollar because I think everything was priced in now, and that's why it's taking such a beating. But remember, in all markets, there's times for correction. I see that where we are right now is time for a bit of a correction because the dollar sold off quite hard. So how does that look on the euro? Well, the euro, unfortunately, I was stopped on the euro by a pip yesterday, and then I've taken it again because it gave me an opportunity with my analysis and with technical levels. So we've got the long-term upper trend line. You can see through this bit here. We'd had a cut signal through here and we saw the reaction. We'd also had a cut signal through here. Now it pushed up through and it's you can see it's taken out all the highs, whether that's stop hunting or whether it's just the market fluctuations, who knows. But unfortunately, I was one of the casualties. So at this point here, what we saw also when you look and delve into the commitment of traders was that the speculators were reducing their shorts massively. Well, the last time that they reduced their shorts to this kind of extent was September, and it was right over here, and we see what happened to the euro back then. So we're going to see a similar situation. Well, who knows? But I'm priced in. I've got a very conservative target just down here because obviously we don't really know what's going to happen with this market, and I see that 108.20 area as a significant level. If we break through that, then I'm happily going to take a retest of that level and look to trade the continuation short. So dollar yen, we've got the same sort of play going on here. So the two green arrows are, we've got like a short-term correction, which is up to the 112, and then potentially if we're going to see yen weakness, we'll get that back up to the longer-term symmetrical triangle and big number of around 115.50. And if it is just going to be a short-term correction on the dollar, then that 112 area looks a lovely area to be taking the continuation short back down to the 106s. So watch your levels, have your alerts set, and watch for price action in those key areas. Major talking point obviously is sterling. Sterling tomorrow will be announcing the trigger of Article 50. Well, the trigger of Article 50 is going to be a 2-year process on England, or the UK, I should say. Forgive me for that. The UK leaving the EU, and as we know, it's not widely regarded through Scotland, etc., that they want to be part of this, and they're calling for a referendum again. So there's major talking points about what's going to happen with sterling, what's going to happen with the UK. Potentially, I can see a rally into the 127 area before we get a sell-off. Now that could be on the basis like we saw leading up to Brexit over here. You can see we get the buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. So this is potentially what I'm seeing here. I did take a short in 125. We triggered. We were sitting in profit, and then unfortunately we got taken out of the market for break even. So that was a trade that didn't work into the way that I was looking, but risk was covered on that particular trade. Okay, so gold. If we are going to see the short-term correction on dollar, we will see a sell-off in gold. So we've got a limit order resting there, not triggered on gold. We missed it yesterday. But what we did see was that although it broke through its key level of 1250, it came up to test 1260, which was pretty much the high of February. And you can see that it was equal test, and now we've seen a potential rejection and a sell-off. This market could quite easily come down, test these lows here just before here. But I've put in a very conservative target. Entry on this one is 1256.60, I believe it to be, with stops at 63. So and target at 1230. So it's a very nice risk reward. It could be a very quick trade in and out. I have been a lot more conservative with my targets in recent weeks, and more so now, just because of the lack of trend and lack of follow through in the market. Because this year my returns could be significantly up, but that old human greed factor, thinking about how the market is going to continue, and as you've probably seen already, the standard that's been set for 2017 is there's no trends. It literally starts and then it corrects, and you're getting a few days. So this is where we need to be adaptive. We need to, whatever systems we trade and how we trade them, sometimes it's you can't make money if you don't bank. So make sure you're becoming adaptive with market movements. It doesn't mean change your analysis. Keep your analysis the same. Just be more efficient with how you manage your money. And then last but not least is we've got a coffee signal. This was a cut signal, trend line, structure, fib. It was all singing and all dancing. We went a little bit offside on Friday. but it came back into profit yesterday, and now we're looking at this market to potentially break through that short-term trend line highlighted by the green arrow. And if we do see that, then we'll look for that retest of the trend line again and take it up towards the top of the channel. This is a weekly chart, and if we do see that, it should potentially break through. So we'll look to target somewhere in the region the highs of 2016 as a minimum. Okay, so that's it on the charts and the news today. But more importantly, new traders, experienced traders, what are you doing? What are you achieving, and what your goals are you setting in order to create the returns that you desire? Are you having mentoring? Are you coming to trading events? Are you doing meetups with other traders? Well, if you are and that's something that you're interested in, then what I'd suggest is you drop us an email at info@phoenixblue.co.uk. Maybe share this with some of your friends that might be interested in trading, and come along to one of our free trading events. This is where you're going to meet a few of the traders from Phoenix Blue. You're going to get the insights into what's involved in trading, what sort of capital is required, what's going to be required from yourselves in terms of time, commitment, sacrifices. And then obviously from that point, you can justify whether it's going to be an industry you'd like to get involved in. One thing that I can say is since I've been in this industry, I've never looked back. So we look forward to seeing you Tuesday the 18th of April. You can book on Eventbrite, or you can just drop us an email. We look forward to seeing you. Remember, like it, share it, post it. See us on Instagram, wherever. Phoenix Blue Trading. All right, guys, have a great day. Speak soon. Bye-bye.